We hear all this talk about how easy the world of Gen Z is, right? The internet at their fingertips, instant gratification, the whole shebang. But here's the thing, why are they nominated as the most depression generation ever? That paradox is there. Depression is beating hard at our digital generation. So actually, what's the deal? What happened? Why depression among Gen Z is skyrocketing? Let's start with factual study. It's called Gen Z Mental Health, the Impact of Tech and Social Media. And what they found was in 2022, in most surveyed countries, a higher proportion of Gen Z respondents say their mental health is very poor. And what do you think increased vastly in conjunction with this? It's the social media usage by Gen Z. What not a lot of people talking about is the usage of social media, or especially the excessive usage of it, is directly linked to depression. Social media designed to bring us closer. Most of us Gen Z have long list of friends in our social media. We have hundreds of followers, but when we excessively use it, we become social isolated. We think that interacting in social media is enough. An article published in the website psychologytoday.com found that social media only increased subjective well-being through increasing connectedness, but not through decreasing social isolation, because social media does not resolve our feelings of social isolation. Different perspective came from Emily Ozaki in her speech on TED Talks. She states that social media caused Gen Z's depression because of the pressure to be perfect. The comparison game there in social media pressed the Gen Z to be perfect teen.
Gen Z is so enveloped in social media that there is a crushing pressure to be the perfect teen.
I definitely agree with her opinion, because now, how many times you see video of people with expensive car, expensive bag, they starting their own business in their young age while you're just sitting there figuring out how to fold your laundry, right? That flex culture is another mental health wrecker. All that curated perfection makes you sometimes feeling like a failure. You feel that you're not good enough, right? That comparison game is a trap. That might be the reason why our generation is depressed. But there's also a different argument about this. In the podcast titled Why Gen Z Feeling So Stressed by Speaking of Psychology in Spotify, psychologist Emma Adams states that social media is not the only cause of Gen Z's depression. She also elaborated about research she's been conducted with her team according the cause of Gen Z's depression, that the results show the most cause of it is school stress. And comes again different perspective from Cole Hastings in his video essay on YouTube. He claims that the depression among Gen Z is because nowadays there's so much movies, TV shows, or series that glamorize and romanticize the idea of depression.
If anything, glamorizing psychopathy, depression, and now even being a serial killer is only more prominent in TV shows and films than it was back then. Shows like 13 Reasons Why, Dahmer, or American Horror Story portray characters with severe psychological problems as having this sort of misunderstood enchantment to them, making the viewer become reeled into the idea of having a mental illness.
Even more, there's a research study done that shows unalive of people aged 10 to 17 increased significantly after the release of the first season of 13 Reasons Why. Romanticizing their struggles can be incredibly damaging. It minimizes the very real challenge they faced. In short, film doesn't just represent trends but also influence it, the way we think and interact with our environment. I also remember this one episode called Good Damage in the TV show BoJack Horseman, where characters named Diana explain that she needs to write a profound memoir about her life.
But I'm not writing a book to have fun. If I don't write my book of essays now, I never will.
So, don't write your book of essays.
I have to.
Why?
Because if I don't, that means that all the damage I got isn't good damage. It's just damage. I have gotten nothing out of it, and all those years I was miserable was for nothing. I could have been happy this whole time, and written books about girl detectives, and been cheerful, and popular, and had good parents. Is that what you're saying? What was it all for?
This idea of good damage paints a picture that damage with meaning is acceptable. It might make us special, like we are stronger than those who haven't endured hardship.
I was a little girl. I thought that everything, all the abuse and neglect, it somehow made me special.
Character like Diane in some commercial series might make the viewer think that mental illness or depression is a common thing. Let's be real, depression ain't a cute accessory that you can just put on and take off anytime you want. It's heavy stuff. Being depressed doesn't make you special. And to sum it up, even though we Gen Zs live in a world that is all about instant and easy, we are still prone to depression. Social media can be a double-edged sword, and it can lead us to lose meaningful interaction with the people around us. Depression is right in front of us. Even worse, there's the pressure on social media for us to be perfect. Assume that every like is a trophy, every comment is a validation that we are good enough. In reality, that's not it. Also, come along another cause of the depression is the stress in school, tasks, and all that lot of assignments. Also, the glamorization of this depression take part makes Gen Z normalize depression and picture it as a cool thing. Then, what should we do? Fyodor Dostoevsky, the OG Russian novelist, dropped some wisdom way back then. He said, if we have nothing to do all day except eating cake and busy ourselves with continuation of the species, the first thing we would do is create massive destruction just so something exciting will happen. What he's saying is, we humans crave challenge. We're built for mountains, not TikTok marathons. We need the struggle to climb, to overcome. It's in our DNA. Let's ditch all of that. The curated feeds, the endless scrolling, we embrace the climb, the struggle, the messiness of real life. We find our mountains, whether it's creating art, starting a business, helping others, or simply learning a new skill. Because that's where the magic happens. That's where we find meaning, purpose, and yeah, maybe even a little excitement. So let's get off the couch, put down our phone, and chase the real, the challenge, the connection, the raw, beautiful mess of being humans. Trust me, it's way more fun than any TikTok dance.